Draymond Green is back. Draymond Green was everywhere tonight. 16 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 0 turnovers, and a plus 20. That stat line is exactly what the Warriors need from him more often. He was in full control on both ends, making the right plays, dominating the glass, and putting pressure on the Hornets the entire game. When he's playing like this, they're just a different team. The Warriors handled business against the Charlotte Hornets, walking away with a 119-101 win. They had 6 players score in double figures, but Draymond stole the show. He even earned the Player of the Game award, and there was no debate. He was stuffing the stat sheet, controlling the tempo, and making his presence felt in every possible way. He's been a force on the defense all season, and the numbers prove it. Opponents are only shooting 42.5% when he's guarding them, which is the 9th lowest mark in the league. That's ridiculous for anyone, but for a 34-year-old, that's special. His energy, instincts, and toughness still set him apart from almost everyone else. He knows exactly how to position himself, cut off angles, and make life miserable for whoever's in front of him. The best part about tonight, he was efficient and aggressive. 16 points on smart shots, attacking when he needed to, and setting his teammates up when the defense collapsed. He didn't force anything, and that's when he's at his best. The 13 rebounds were huge, marking his highest total since late November, and every single one of them felt important. He was boxing out, fighting for position, and making sure the Hornets weren't getting second chances. That's the kind of effort that changes games. And let's talk about those 6 assists. Draymond's always been one of the best passing bigs in the league, and he showed it again tonight. He kept the offense flowing, found open shooters, and delivered perfect passes to teammates in scoring position. The Warriors thrive when the ball moves, and Draymond's passing was a huge reason they controlled the pace all night. It definitely helps that Jimmy takes a lot of pressure off him on the defense end. With Jimmy handling some of the tougher matchups, Draymond gets to focus more on directing traffic, helping in the right spots, and using his energy in the smartest ways possible. It frees him up to do more on offense too, and that was obvious tonight. He looked comfortable, confident, and fully in rhythm. Of course, this wouldn't be a Draymond game without some extra spice. He picked up a technical and a flagrant, which at this point is just part of the deal. He plays with fire, and sometimes that means crossing the line. It's frustrating at times, but it's also part of what makes him so effective. He brings intensity every single night, and when he's using that energy the right way, it completely changes how this team operates. This is the kind of game the Warriors need from him more consistently. When he's this locked in, they're just better. He controls the tempo, keeps the energy up, and does all the little things that don't always show up in the box score. The 16 points, 13 boards, and 6 assists are great, but his impact goes beyond that. He's the glue that keeps everything together, and tonight was a perfect example of why he's still so important. The Warriors needed a performance like this, and Draymond delivered. This is the version of him that makes a real difference. When he's playing at this level, they're a completely different team. It's that simple. And the thing is, Draymond Green has been a game changer all season when he's locked in. His numbers might not explode off the page, but his impact is undeniable. 9 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per game only tell part of the story. He's not out there hunting for stats. He's making winning plays every single night. When he's fully engaged, he's one of the smartest, most versatile players in the league, and the advanced stats prove just how important he is. His passing remains elite, ranking 30th in assist percentage. That means he's creating more offense for his teammates than most bigs in the league. His ability to read the floor, make the right pass, and keep the Warriors' offense flowing is something few players can replicate. He doesn't just rack up assists, he delivers the right passes at the right time, setting up his teammates for high percentage shots. Whether it's a quick dish to a cutter, a kick out to an open shooter, or a perfectly timed lob, Draymond's passing continues to be a massive weapon. Rebounding has also been a strong part of his game, ranking 53rd in rebounding percentage. That's impressive, considering he's often battling against bigger players in the paint. He understands angles, boxes out effectively, and hustles for every board. He might not be the tallest or the most athletic, but his positioning and effort allow him to secure key rebounds. When he's fully engaged, he keeps possessions alive on offense and shuts down second chance opportunities on defense. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, Draymond, where he truly dominates is on the defensive end. He's still one of the best defenders in the league, ranking 4th in defensive win shares and 7th in defensive box plus minus. That means when he's on the floor, the Warriors' defense is significantly better. His ability to read plays, switch onto different positions, and protect the rim makes him an invaluable piece of their system. He ranks 20th in block percentage, proving that he's still a strong shot contester despite being undersized for his position. He might not block every shot, but his presence alone alters plenty of attempts. Steal percentage is another area where he thrives, ranking 23rd in the league. That shows just how disruptive he is. He's always lurking in passing lanes, poking the ball away, and forcing turnovers. He's one of the best in the league at anticipating passes and turning defensive stops into offensive opportunities. The Warriors' transition game benefits massively from his ability to generate steals and immediately push the ball up the floor. These numbers highlight why Draymond continues to be such an impactful player. He's doing all of this at 34 years old, which makes it even more impressive. Most players start slowing down at this stage, but he's still making a massive difference every time he steps on the court. His IQ, hustle, and leadership keep him at the top of his game. And when he's locked in, there aren't many players who can match his all-around impact. But for Draymond, the place he mostly dominates is with his on-off numbers. His ability to affect the game in so many ways separates him from the majority of players in the league. The data proves it. He ranks above 95% of players in mixed teamwork rankings, which measures how much a player's presence creates a positive margin for his team. That means when he's on the court, the Warriors are operating at a much higher level than when he's off. It's not just about what he does individually, it's about how he elevates the entire team. His offensive rating sits at 118.1, showing how efficient the Warriors' offense is when he's on the floor. He's not just passing or setting screens, he's ensuring that everything runs smoothly. The ball moves better, the spacing improves, and players get cleaner looks. His ability to make quick reads and deliver the right passes at the right time keeps the offense flowing, and it shows in the numbers. When he's on, the Warriors' offensive efficiency skyrockets. Defensively, his rating is even more impressive. His defensive rating of 111.6 highlights just how effective he is at shutting down opponents. The Warriors give up fewer points when he's out there, and it's not just because of his steals and blocks. It's his communication, rotations, and presence. He keeps everyone in the right position, calls out switches, and makes sure the Warriors are organized on that end. He's not just a good defender, he's one of the best at completely altering how an opposing team attacks. His net rating of plus 6.5 proves just how valuable he is. That number measures the team's point differential when he's on the floor versus when he's off. A positive number means the team is winning those minutes, and his plus 6.5 mark is outstanding. It means that the Warriors consistently outscore their opponents whenever he's playing, which is exactly what you want from an impact player. He's a difference maker, plain and simple. His plus-minus numbers back it up. He's had a positive plus-minus in 63% of games this season, which means that in nearly 2/3 of the games he plays, the Warriors are outscoring their opponents with him on the floor. That's a winning impact. When he plays well, the team wins, so more often than not, his ability to influence games goes beyond traditional stats, and this number proves that he consistently contributes to winning basketball. And then there's the on-off impact, which is massive. The team's point difference when he's on the court versus when he's off sits at plus 4.5. That means the Warriors are 4.5 points better per 100 possessions with Draymond in the game. That's a huge gap. When he's playing, the team is scoring more, defending better, and controlling the game at a much higher level than when he's on the bench. His presence alone makes them significantly better. These numbers tell the full story of his impact. He's not just putting up decent counting stats, he's actively making the Warriors better every single time he steps on the floor. His offensive efficiency, defensive dominance, and overall influence on the team's performance put him in elite company. His ability to make his team better than 95% of other players in the league is exactly why he's so valuable. He might not be dropping 30 points a night, but his numbers prove he's one of the most impactful players in the entire NBA. When he's locked in, the Warriors are just a different team, and the stats back it up every single night. And the thing is, he's still an elite passer too. Draymond Green's ball handling ability is one of the most underrated parts of his game, and the numbers prove just how elite he is in this area. He ranks above 93% of players in ball handling, an insane mark for someone who isn't a traditional guard. Most bigs rely on guards to handle the ball and create offense, but Draymond operates differently. He takes control, pushes the pace, and plays the role of a true floor general. His ability to read the floor, break down defenses, and keep the offense flowing is a huge part of why he's so valuable. His passing numbers make it clear that he's not just a secondary playmaker, he's a primary facilitator. He's averaging 5.7 assists per game, a stat that very few big men can match. But what makes it even more impressive is his assist percentage. He assists on 25.32% of his team's field goals when he's on the floor, ranking higher than 87% of players in the league. That means 1 out of every 4 shots the Warriors make while Draymond is playing comes directly from his passing. That's not just good, it's elite. Draymond's ability to control the offense and make plays for his teammates is what makes him such a unique player. He's constantly making reads, setting up teammates, and ensuring the Warriors' offense operates at its best. His passing isn't just about finding open shooters, it's about putting his teammates in the best possible position to score. Whether it's a perfect bounce pass in transition, a quick dish to a cutter, or a well-timed feed to a shooter coming off a screen, he knows exactly how to deliver the ball. What makes his playmaking even more valuable is his efficiency. He's averaging 2.5 turnovers per game, which is impressive given how often he has the ball in his hands. Plenty of high-level playmakers rack up turnovers because they're constantly trying to make difficult passes. But Draymond balances risk and reward perfectly. He takes smart chances, makes calculated decisions, and rarely forces plays that aren't there. His assist-to-turnover ratio shows that he's a responsible ball handler who knows how to create without making costly mistakes. One of the most important numbers that highlight his impact as a playmaker is his points assisted per game. He's directly responsible for generating 13.9 points per game just through his passing. That means nearly 14 points a night come from Draymond, setting up his teammates for easy buckets. When you combine that with his own scoring, he's creating over 20 points per game through his ability to handle the ball and find open teammates. That's an insane level of production for someone who isn't a traditional scoring threat. Draymond's ability to handle the ball under pressure is another reason why he's such a rare player. Most big men struggle when defenses press them or force them to make quick decisions, but Draymond thrives in those situations. He can bring the ball up the court, initiate the offense, and make high-level reads even against aggressive defenders. His ability to handle the ball at his size gives the Warriors a massive advantage, allowing them to play a faster, more unpredictable style of basketball. Another key stat that showcases his ball handling and playmaking value is his overall ranking in 3-step metrics, which measure his ability to control the ball and create positive possessions. He ranks above 93% of all players in the league in ball handling, meaning only a handful of guys in the entire NBA are better in that category. That's unheard of for someone at his position. He's essentially operating as a point guard in a power forward's body, dictating the flow of the game and making sure the Warriors get the best shots possible. His combination of ball handling and passing allows the Warriors to play a completely different style when he's on the floor. They don't need to rely on a traditional point guard to set things up because Draymond can do it himself. He pushes the tempo in transition, makes quick reads in the half court, and runs the offense with a level of confidence that most big men could never even attempt. His ability to keep defenses on their heels is a massive part of why the Warriors have been so successful with him as their primary facilitator. And it's not just about his ability to pass. His overall control of the game makes him even more valuable. When he has the ball, he dictates the pace. He knows when to speed things up and when to slow things down. He knows when to attack and when to reset. His understanding of the game allows him to maximize every possession, making sure the Warriors are getting the best possible look every time down the floor. One of the biggest reasons his ball handling is so effective is his chemistry with his teammates. He knows exactly where guys like Steph Curry and Jimmy want the ball, and he delivers it with perfect timing. He sets screens, rolls to the right spots, and always makes sure his teammates are in rhythm. His ability to orchestrate the offense allows the Warriors to play with constant movement, which is what makes them so difficult to guard. Another key aspect of his ball handling is how it helps the Warriors in transition. Because he can push the ball himself, they don't always need to wait for a guard to initiate the break. If he grabs a rebound, he's immediately looking to push the pace, creating easy fast break opportunities. This allows the Warriors to catch defenses off guard and get quick buckets before the opposing team can set up. Most teams rely on their guards to do this, but Draymond gives the Warriors a massive advantage because he can do it himself. His ability to protect the ball is another huge factor. Even though he's constantly making plays, he doesn't get stripped easily. He uses his body well, shields defenders, and knows how to maneuver in tight spaces. This is why he's able to keep his turnover numbers in check while still being aggressive as a playmaker. He's not just making safe passes, he's making high-level reads without putting the team in danger. The numbers prove that Draymond Green isn't just a good ball handler for a big, he's one of the best ball handlers in the entire league. His ranking above 93% of players in ball handling metrics, his elite assist percentage, his low turnover numbers, and his ability to generate nearly 14 points per game through passing all show how valuable he is as a facilitator. He's essentially a point forward, running the offense, controlling the tempo, and making sure the Warriors are getting high-quality shots every time down the floor. His playmaking and ball handling are what separate him from so many other players at his position. He's not just another forward who can make an occasional pass. He's one of the smartest and most skilled facilitators in the entire league. His ability to read the floor, handle the ball with confidence, and create for his teammates at such a high level is exactly why he continues to be one of the most important players on the Warriors. Draymond Green's impact as a ball handler and playmaker is backed up by the numbers in every possible way. His ability to create offense, protect the ball, and keep the Warriors system running at a high level makes him one of the most unique players in the NBA. When he's locked in, his ball handling and passing elevate the entire team, proving that his skill set is one of the most valuable in the league. But the thing we all know him for is defense. Draymond Green's defense is one of the biggest reasons he remains such a valuable player, and the numbers prove just how elite he is on that end of the floor. He ranks above 92% of players in mixed team defense, a stat that measures not only how well he stops opponents individually, but also how much he improves the entire team's defensive performance. That means he's not just making plays for himself, he's elevating the Warriors' defense every time he's on the floor. His ability to read the game, anticipate opponents' moves, and position himself perfectly allows him to disrupt offenses at an elite level. One of the most important parts of his defensive game is his ability to force turnovers. He's averaging 1.3 steals per game, showing just how active and disruptive he is. A lot of players get steals by gambling or jumping passing lanes, but Draymond's steals come from sheer basketball IQ. He knows when to swipe at the ball, when to cut off passing angles, and how to bait opponents into mistakes. His hands are always moving, and he's constantly making it difficult for ball handlers to get comfortable. That's why so many players struggle against him. He never gives them a moment to relax. His ability to protect the rim is just as important. He's averaging 1.1 blocks per game, proving that he's still an elite shot contester despite not being a traditional center. He doesn't rely on sheer size or length to block shots. Instead, he uses timing, positioning, and incredible instincts to alter attempts at the rim. He's not just blocking shots for highlight plays, he's preventing easy baskets, forcing difficult floaters, and making opponents think twice before challenging him. Even when he doesn't get the block, his presence alone changes shots and forces misses. Defensive rebounding is another key area where he makes a huge impact. He's grabbing 4.9 defensive rebounds per game, ensuring that the Warriors aren't giving up second chance points. A great defender isn't just about stopping the first shot, it's about finishing the possession by securing the rebound. Draymond does this at an elite level. He's not the tallest or the most athletic, but his positioning and effort allow him to outwork bigger opponents for boards. He boxes out, times his jumps perfectly, and makes sure the Warriors get possession after a stop. What separates Draymond from most defenders is that he's not just great at one thing, he does everything at a high level. He can guard every position on the floor, from point guards to centers. He switches onto quicker players and keeps them in front of him. He bodies up against bigger players and holds his ground in the post. He's one of the few defenders who can truly do it all, and that versatility is why he remains such a dominant force. His impact on the team's overall defensive performance is even clearer when looking at the Warriors' defensive efficiency. The team has a defensive efficiency rating of 111.6, which means they allow that many points per 100 possessions. That number improves significantly when Draymond is on the floor because of how much he directs the defense, forces tough shots, and makes sure his teammates are in the right positions. He's not just making plays for himself, he's organizing the entire unit, calling out switches, and ensuring that the Warriors' defense runs smoothly. Draymond's defensive leadership is one of the most valuable parts of his game. A lot of players can get steals or blocks, but not many can quarterback a defense like he does. He's constantly communicating, telling teammates where to be, and helping them adjust to what the offense is doing. That's why his impact is so much bigger than just the stats. He's making sure the entire team is locked in, disciplined, and ready to react to whatever the opponent throws at them. Another aspect that makes his defense so dominant is his ability to contest shots without fouling. Some players get blocks by taking risky swipes or leaving their feet too early, but Draymond's contests are calculated. He knows exactly when to jump, when to stay down, and how to use his body to make shots as difficult as possible. That's why so many players struggle to score efficiently against him. He's not just blocking shots, he's forcing tough, low percentage attempts. His ranking above 92% of players in mixed team defense proves that he's one of the best overall defenders in the league. That number isn't just about what he does as an individual, it shows how much he improves the Warriors as a whole. When he's on the floor, the team's defense is significantly better. Opponents struggle to score, their efficiency drops, and they have to work much harder for every bucket. That's the definition of a game-changing defender. His ability to switch onto different players is another reason why he's so valuable. In today's NBA, where teams are constantly hunting for mismatches, Draymond is one of the few players who can't be exploited. Guards don't blow past him. Big men don't overpower him. He holds his own against every type of player, making him one of the most versatile defenders in the game. His ability to neutralize different threats is what makes the Warriors' defense so dangerous when he's on the court. Even though he's not a traditional shot-blocking center, his presence in the paint is still elite. His 1.1 blocks per game might not seem like a huge number, but it doesn't tell the full story. He alters countless shots, forces bad decisions, and makes opponents uncomfortable around the rim. He's a master at verticality, keeping his hands straight up to contest shots without fouling. That kind of discipline is rare, and it's why so many teams struggle to score inside when he's on the floor. Draymond's ability to read plays before they happen is one of the reasons why he's so dominant on defense. He's not just reacting, he's anticipating. He studies opponents, understands their tendencies, and knows exactly where they want to go with the ball. That's why he's able to get so many steals and blocks without taking unnecessary risks. He's always in the right place at the right time, making the right play before the offense even realizes what's happening. His combination of steals, blocks, rebounding, and overall defensive efficiency makes him one of the most complete defenders in the NBA. He's not just shutting down individual players, he's dictating the entire flow of the game. His ability to control the paint, guard multiple positions, and communicate at an elite level makes him one of the most valuable defensive players in the league. The numbers back up everything about his defensive greatness. 1.3 steals per game, 1.1 blocks per game, 4.9 defensive rebounds per game, a defensive efficiency rating of 111.6, a ranking above 92% of players in mixed team defense. These stats don't just show that he's good, they prove that he's still one of the best defenders in basketball. Draymond Green's defense is what keeps the Warriors competitive on that end of the floor. He's the anchor, the leader, and the difference maker. He's shutting down opponents, making them uncomfortable, and ensuring that the Warriors are a tough team to score against every single night. His defensive numbers prove that he's still one of the most impactful players in the NBA, and when he's locked in, there's nobody better at controlling the game on defense. And the thing is, Draymond Green's impact on the Warriors is undeniable, and what makes him even more valuable is that he doesn't need high usage to be effective. His usage rate sits at 15.9%, which means he ranks above just 36% of players in how often he finishes offensive possessions with a shot, free throw attempt, assist, or turnover. That number is incredibly low for a player as important as Draymond, proving that he doesn't need to dominate the ball or take a ton of shots to make a difference. Instead, he lets Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler handle the bulk of the offensive workload while he focuses on doing everything else that helps the team win. Draymond's offensive role is about making quick decisions, keeping the ball moving, and setting up his teammates for easy baskets. He averages just 7.3 field goal attempts per game, meaning he's not out there forcing shots or demanding touches. He takes what the defense gives him, looks for the best available option, and only shoots when it makes sense. His efficiency and discipline are what make him such a perfect fit alongside high-usage stars like Curry and Butler. His ability to create without dominating possessions is also reflected in his free throw attempts. He's getting to the line just 2.3 times per game, further proving that he's not constantly looking to attack for himself. Instead of hunting fouls or forcing drives into traffic, he plays within the flow of the offense. He doesn't need to be a primary scoring option because he understands that his job is to set up his teammates and facilitate ball movement rather than take a high volume of shots. His passing numbers show exactly why he doesn't need a high usage rate to have a massive impact. He's dishing out 5.7 assists per game, meaning he's directly responsible for a huge chunk of the Warriors' offensive production without needing to take many shots himself. Even though his usage rate is low, his assist numbers remain high because he's constantly making the right reads. Whether he's setting up Curry for a three, hitting Butler in the post, or making a quick pass to an open shooter, he knows exactly how to maximize each possession. Draymond's turnover numbers also prove how careful he is with the ball despite being a primary playmaker. He's averaging just 2.5 turnovers per game, which is extremely low considering how often he's facilitating. Some high-usage players rack up turnovers because they're constantly trying to create for themselves. But Draymond's decision-making is what separates him. He takes smart risks, keeps the offense under control, and ensures that possessions aren't wasted. His overall impact is best reflected in the number of possessions he plays each game. He's involved in 59.5 possessions per game, showing that he's still a central piece of everything the Warriors do, despite not having a high usage rate. He's playing a major role in the team's success without demanding the ball, which allows Curry and Butler to control the offense while he focuses on setting them up and making their jobs easier. Curry and Butler are the ones taking the high usage responsibilities. For the Warriors, they're the ones initiating plays, taking the majority of the shots, and handling the bulk of the offensive workload. Draymond's role is to complement them by facilitating, screening, and keeping the offense flowing. He's the glue that holds everything together, making sure that the Warriors stars get the best possible opportunities to succeed. Draymond's ability to thrive with such a low usage rate is a rare skill. Many players struggle to be effective when they aren't taking a ton of shots or having the offense run through them. But Draymond has mastered the art of impacting the game without needing to dominate the ball. His ability to influence the game through passing, defense, and basketball IQ makes him one of the most unique players in the league. The numbers prove that Draymond doesn't need to take over games with scoring or high volume usage. He plays his role perfectly, allowing Curry and Butler to shine while he focuses on the little things that make the team successful. His low usage rate, efficient passing, strong decision making, and willingness to do the dirty work are what make him such a valuable piece of the Warriors system. When he's locked in, he's the ultimate team player, impacting winning without ever needing to take center stage. Overall though, Draymond Green's impact goes beyond the box score, beyond the highlights, and beyond the numbers. He's the engine that keeps the Warriors running, the glue that holds them together, and the leader who sets the tone on both ends of the floor. When he's engaged, they're a different team, more organized, more aggressive, and simply more dangerous. His passing, defense, and sheer basketball IQ make him one of the most valuable players in the league, even if his contributions don't always show up in flashy stat lines. He's not here to chase numbers. He's here to win. And when he plays like this, the Warriors win a lot more often. Nights like this prove why he's still so important. Even after all these years, his energy is contagious, his leadership is undeniable, and his presence changes everything. The Warriors need this version of Draymond Green as much as ever, because when he's locked in, everything just works. And with the season heating up, that could be the difference between being a good team and a great one. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.